Hi guys, Kelly here, and I wanted to share with you my recent reads that were ones that I read for Contemporaryathon. So Contemporaryathon was a readathon that ran, I don't even know what the dates were, but it was in February, and it was hosted by several people. I'll put all the hosts down below, and the whole goal was just to read contemporary books, and I ended up reading 5 books during that time. And I did vlog during that time, so these will probably be pretty quick reviews. So if you would like to hear more of my thoughts, you can look at those vlogs down below. And so like I said, I read 5 books for Contemporaryathon, 3 physical books and 2 audiobooks, and I'm going to talk about them in the order of the way I like them. So I'll start with the books that I like the least to the book I like the most. And I had 2 3-star books. So the first one is Snow and Love, and this is a collection of 4 short stories. So it has several different authors, and this is holiday romantic stories. So I know it was February and I'm reading this holiday book, but I had gotten this at Christmas time, read one story and just put it down and had to pick it back up. It's due back to the library, so I wanted to finish it, and that was like my reasoning. And so I didn't end up reading these in the order they're in the book, because from what people have said, the middle 2 stories were less good than the other ones. So I started out with the ones that people said were less good so that I could end on a high note, and I think that's the way to go. So if you read this short story collection, I would suggest starting with the middle 2 and then ending with the first and the last story so that you can end on a higher note, because I also agree that the middle 2 stories were not that great. So I'll just go through real quick each of the stories. The first story is called Snow and Mistletoe, and that's by Kasie West, and that one was my favorite. I would probably give that one a 5-star. I loved that story. It's kind of a road trip story about, like, since they're short stories, I'm not going to tell you like detailed synopsis. So it's just about a girl who gets stranded at the airport. Somebody from her school sees her there and offers to drive her home, and they like get a car and drive home together, and just like the road trip of getting home. Really cute. Love that one. The next one is called Working in a Winter Wonderland by Amy Friedman, and that one is the one I like probably the least. That would be like a 1-star story, and it was just really boring. It was just about a girl she's Jewish, and one of the things that disappointed me was that she was like talking about how she's surrounded by Christmas stuff and Christmas music and all this, and not any Jewish stuff, but then there was like nothing about her celebrating Hanukkah in the story, really. There was like one scene where she celebrates Hanukkah, but like nothing else in the story that talks about it, or her like sharing Hanukkah traditions with her friends or anything like that. Nothing. So I'm like, why are you so complaining about it? So most of it was very Christmassy, even though the main character celebrates Hanukkah. So she gets a job in a mall, and it's basically just her dealing with that holiday job and dealing with all the Christmas stuff. And it was really bad. Like, it was like one of those where it seemed like the author had a really cute, like, first kiss scene in her mind and was like, I need to write a story that goes with this, and just threw a bunch of stuff together, but it really was not good. Like, the chemistry between the 2, like, love interests was not existent, so when they did kiss, you're like, really? So even as a short story, there was like nothing. Like, you couldn't have put a little bit of cuteness in before the first kiss? No, it was bad. And then the next one was called The Magi's Gifts by Melissa De La Cruz, and that is basically just a retelling of The Gift of the Magi. So if you've read that story, this is just the updated version with teenagers, and that's it. So it was okay, but it wasn't anything exciting. I think it would have been like a 2 stars because it just didn't really have much of a purpose. And the last story was called Grounded by Nick Stone. That one was also really great. That would be probably like a 4-star read for me, and that was cute. It was about a girl who is stuck in an airport because of the snow, and the person that she's going to go on vacation with from another family, like 2 families are meeting to go on vacation, she's also stuck in the airport in like a different terminal. So they decided to do like this little scavenger hunt to find each other, and it's mostly done through text. Like, the thing is just all in text writing back and forth for most of the story, and it was really cute. I liked it, and it was a diverse read. The main character is black and Jewish and gay, so if you wanted a little bit of diversity, it's in there too. So all in all, I wouldn't necessarily like recommend or not recommend this. Like, I thought the two outer stories were really cute, and so if you have this at your library, I would say next holiday time to get it out and read it, but I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy it. Like, it wasn't that great. And the next 3-star read is Wanderlost by Jen Malone. And this is a story about a girl named Aubrey who, she just graduated from high school. Her sister just graduated from college. She's always been the one that, like, thinks her sister's perfect, and Aubrey's kind of, like, just trying to figure out who she is. And her sister is supposed to be working as a tour guide over the summer in Europe, but something happens where her sister has to stay in town, and so she asks Aubrey to take her place, but as her, so that she doesn't get in trouble for missing out on that job. And so Aubrey goes to Europe for the summer and pretending to be her sister Elizabeth. And of course, you know, mayhem ensues, because when you take somebody's identity, things happen. And of course, there's like a relationship, things like that. So this book was really headed towards being a super cute, romantic comedy kind of thing. I was really enjoying most of the book. I would say 3/4 of the book I was really enjoying. It was headed towards a high star rating because it was just cute. Like, it was fun to have the European trip. It was a good coming of age. She was learning and growing. The romance was adorable. Like, her love interest, Sam, is just like the cutest, like, sweetest and funniest. He's just so great as a love interest. So it was really headed towards being great. I loved all the people on the tour. It was a tour for senior citizens, and every one of the older people on the trip were awesome. I just really loved their characters. But then we get towards the end of the book, and I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to say an event happens. Something happens towards the end of the book that was a serious type of event, and it just felt like it was thrown in there in order to cause some melodrama in the relationship and have something that they can overcome or whatever. And not that I have a problem with an author doing that, because you do need to have some kind of conflict in a story, but if you're going to have a big event happen, you need to give it its weight. And the thing that happened in here, it felt like they're like, oh, we're going to throw this thing in there, even though that's very serious and deserve to be treated seriously, and we're going to give it like 10 pages and then move on. And it was really upsetting to me. It brought it down to 3 stars from a much higher rating, I think. Like, I don't know why I would have if it had been a different ending, but that really spoiled it for me. I don't know. I don't want to say don't read it, because that might not be something that bothers you. So if you don't mind if they throw in a big thing and just move past it, then I would suggest it. It was fun. But that just is something that bugs me. So for this readathon, I had 2 4-star reads, and they were both my audiobooks. The first 4-star book I read was Fame, Fate, and the First Kiss by Kasie West. And some of you might not realize this is actually a companion novel. So I didn't know that until I actually started reading it. But a couple years ago, she wrote a book called Love, Life, and the List. And the main character for Fame, Fate, and the First Kiss is a side character in that other story. So this is like, there are like the main character from Love, Life, and the List shows up as a side character in this book. So they are connected. You don't have to have read that one, but it would spoil that book if you read Fame, Fate, and the First Kiss first. You know what I mean? So I would read them in the right order, unless you're just not planning on reading that one at all. But this one is about a girl named Lacey, and she has gotten a job as an actress in a movie. She's still in high school, so she still has to like keep up with her classes and programs. So even though she's not in school, she has to do like packets and stuff like that so that she can still graduate on time. And so she's balancing kind of having a official job and school, and then there's like a romance thrown in there too. And I just thought it was really cute. Like, some of Kasie West's recent books, I've not been liking them as much. I've been finding them kind of dull. But this one, I just really thought it was fun. I enjoyed watching her kind of learning how to be in the adult world for the first time. I liked her romance. The like love interest was one of those really sweet boys, and I just really like love interests that want to support the person that they like and not necessarily take care of them, because, you know, women, we can take care of ourselves, but, you know, like, that just want to do nice things and be a supportive boyfriend. I like that. And so this love interest was a boy like that. He's very sweet and caring, and I enjoyed their romance. So that part of the book, I would say like 5 stars was the romance. But the thing that brought it down for me a little bit was that about halfway through the book, she started to go in this direction that made it seem like a mystery. And Kasie West, she just does not have, like, she has a thing that she does, and that is romance. Doing a mystery plotline is not really her forte, and I didn't think it was very well done. And that part I could have just done without. I mean, she could have just stick to it, been like a kind of coming of age, learning how to live in the adult world, and that plot combined with a romance would have been probably 5 stars. But putting in this whole mystery scandal thing didn't work for me. The next 4-star raid was This Is Our Story by Ashley Elston, and this one was a YA mystery novel, and it is about 5 boys who have been friends for a long time. They go hunting together on a regular basis. 5 boys go into the woods to go hunting, and only 4 come back, and one of them is dead. And so then obviously one of the other boys is the killer. And so this whole story is just trying to figure out who killed their friend. And this is told from 2 perspectives. It's told from the boys, and the person that is leading the boys' perspective, we don't know which boy it is. So it's a mystery of which one of the 4 we're actually hearing from. And then the other perspective is from a girl who goes to school with the 4 boys, and she also works in the DA's office. So her mom is the secretary of the assistant DA, and she gets like a job internship basically helping her mom help with the ADA. So because she is working in that office, she's a part of the case that is trying to convict one of the killers and gets to be kind of privy to solving the case. So those are the 2 perspectives we're hearing from. And what I really loved about this story was listening to it on audiobook. I don't know if I would have liked it as much if I had read it physically, because part of it is it's taking place in the South. I don't remember which state it is exactly, but it's definitely in like Southern culture, and both of the narrators spoke with a Southern accent, and it just really like made me feel like I was part of that town in the South, and hearing the accents, hearing the way they talked and everything was excellent. And so I really liked listening to it. It was very enjoyable read in that aspect, and I think it was just a fun mystery story. I don't think it was all that like necessarily surprising or exciting or anything like that, the mystery, but I just felt like it was a really good entertaining read that you could sit down and read very quickly, like in a day or 2. I think it took me 2 days to listen to the audiobook, and I just really enjoyed listening to it and being in the ambiance and just kind of like along for the ride. And my favorite book that I read for the Contemporaryathon was This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. And this is about a girl named Sloane who moves to a new town, and kind of like her meeting a group of friends. So basically she's always been kind of a loner and not necessarily had a tight group of friends. And when she moves to this town, she meets these twins and their group of friends and gets absorbed into the group. And kind of just, I would say this story is about friendship. There is a side plot where Sloane is looking for a painting that one of her friends has lost, and so like we're kind of like going through that story of her hunting down the painting from owner to owner and all that. And that is like the driving plot of the story, but really I don't think that's the focus of it. The main focus is about friendship and her seeing for the first time what it's like to be in a group of friends and what it's like to really support each other. And I just loved it. I think that more YA books need to have a focus on friendship, because it's so important in that time of life when you're learning how to like interact with other people and you're learning about social skills and being in society. Friendship is such an important thing. And I just loved the friend group in here. They are extremely loyal to each other and supportive. They have their issues. There's lots of drama that comes up in different points. But the point is that even if you have drama in your group and you have issues and conflicts, that you can still work it out and learn how to just like love another person for who they are and all their problems and everything, and that you can come together and still be supportive of each other and be there for each other when you're going through issues. And I just really enjoyed it. It made me think a lot about my group of friends when I was in high school, and so I really connected with the story and the characters, loved every single person in her group of friends, There is a tiny bit of romance, but it doesn't take over the story. It really is about friendship. So if you want to read a young adult contemporary that focuses on friendship, and I actually ended up crying in this book because the friendships were just like so touching, I would definitely recommend this as a book about friendship. And that's it. That's all of the books I read for Contemporaryathon. I had a great time. If you've read any of this, I'd love to discuss them with you. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.